Welcome to the Lost Lowdown, podcast 141, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
We are back, continuing our Season 3 commentary series with episode 311, Enter 77.
Enter 77.
Whenever an episode title rhymes with the number of the episode, you know it's going to be good.
It makes me think, 77 is going to enter the room or something.
Yeah. Now on stage left, Enter 77. Yeah, it makes me think we're going to enter something that's 77. Like a place that's 77.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we definitely didn't know what it meant
No.
originally.
It's a good title. It's a good,
It
you
is.
don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah. But you're
Or-
interested.
Yeah, you're interested.
It's not a number.
Yep.
They could have gone with a number, didn't. Yet more proof that Dharma didn't give a shit about the numbers.
No. Did they even know about the numbers?
That they're not even aware it's a thing.
They missed it.
Yeah.
The one thing they didn't come to study was the numbers.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the serial number? Who cares?
Oh, the serial number on the hatch? Oh, yeah. No, we got
Yeah.
plenty of numbers.
Yeah, serial numbers aren't really that interesting.
No. There's a lot of numbers
Yeah.
that have no meaning.
We number
unless you
everything.
put meaning on them.
Hello.
Hello, theme of the show. Oh, man.
Welcome to the party.
Right? Exactly. All right. So this episode, quintessential season 3 episode. It sticks out in my mind. I remember the moment when Locke does the Enter 77.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I remember. So what else happens?
I remember some other stuff from this episode, but I don't want to spoil it. We can
Oh, good.
enjoy it as it arises.
Yeah.
But I was definitely excited for this after last week with the ending with Russo and Locke's. We're actually not motivated, but we're gonna go anyway.
Yeah. Who needs motivation?
Because the light hit Echo's stick one time, so we know where to go now.
Oh, man. What?
And why would that have anything to do with Jack, by the way? I mean, it's just such a bizarre, I don't even know. And I mean, the place where they go isn't where Jack is, so I don't even know, what's going on with that.
Nope.
Even thinking about the show as a whole, what was that even supposed to mean? Was it just, random luck? Or, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't either. It's one of those things where I think we're not supposed to think about it after they say it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. But it's just strange. It's a strange way to get from here to there, because they have the setup of them seeing, Patchy or whatever on the cameras in the Pearl, and Locke's, he's like, I think he'll be expecting us or whatever. And so it seems like they're gonna go look for him, but that's not really what they're doing. They're supposedly looking for Jack, and they're following this bizarre direction based on the light hitting the stick. So it's like, why would that? I don't know. It's just a weird path to get there.
Yeah, I guess maybe the idea is they think they know where the others live, and they think that's where Jack is, which I guess they're going to be right soon. But yeah, it's really, I'm looking at the transcript. It is really weird that we got a compass bearing, and I'm pretty sure if we follow it, it'll lead us right to him.
Yeah.
How? Says Kate, and then Sayid. Apparently, this says with some sarcasm. Because of the way the sunlight hits their Echo stick when John was burying him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does need some sarcasm.
It seemed like he said it with sarcasm. I agree.
Yeah. Which he should have, because it makes Sayid is a logical guy. Doesn't make any sense that
Right.
it's not just that there was something on Echo's stick. It was the way the light hit his stick. Which is like this extra random thing.
Yeah.
That makes it totally ridiculous. So now you know our secret. Jesus. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff in this episode.
Yeah. It's definitely after that weird era that we've just gotten through, I think the season's starting to pick up now.
Yeah.
Let's pick up steam with this episode. And of course, we get the introduction of a classic character.
Yes.
Whose legacy lives on long after his quote-unquote death.
I don't think he's dead. All right, well let's jump into the episode. Let's get it going. Let's enter 77.
Ooh,
if I may.
Nice. You may, and you should.
And I did.
And I hope that you do.
And I will again. Touche. All right, everybody, get your plays ready if you're going to sync up with us, and we'll get ready to enter 77.
All right.
Or enter 77.
Ooh. Oh, right. Is it enter 77?
I think it's enter 77.
I think you're right.
That's the reveal.
That's the surprise reveal.
Yeah.
It's 2 one-digit numbers, not 1 two-digit number.
Yeah, but they didn't want to write enter 7, because that would look weird.
That would look really weird. It's true.
All right. You ready?
I am ready.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Previously on Lost.
As usual.
I really wish we would have called BS on the others at that line. We should have known they weren't who they claimed they'd be if, all they wanted to tell us was, don't come over here.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem a little bit weak.
I owe him that, because of some reason. Why, Kate? Why do you owe Jack that? Uh-oh, the alien.
She owes him from all those debts that she's incurred.
So many debts.
I thought that was weird, too, because I don't think he saw them, but...
What did Locke say?
I think he'll be expecting us.
He's always wrong.
I know.
He had that smile. That's his, self-assured,
It is.
He's wrong.
I'm so right. Yeah, that's how you absolutely know he's wrong.
Oh, ping pong table.
Oh, no, not the ping pong plot.
I forgot about that. I thought it was golf and poker.
And ping pong.
The trifecta.
The forgotten crappy plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went off to Kate somewhere. What do you think?
She went off on a deathly mission.
You know what she does. Come on.
My guns and ammo.
My guns and ammo.
Ooh, he can dish it in.
Ouch. Damn, Paulo.
You want my poop supplies? This is part of my poop stash now.
Yeah, see, I feel like that's a sign there's something wrong with Nikki and Paulo. We never see other characters going to poop somewhere.
Yeah, I think when the realism of defecation comes into play, they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
We can buy endless tarps and endless torches.
Yeah.
We can deal with the fact they don't have to use the bathroom. It's fine.
Seriously, yeah. It's all off screen.
They've been gone for 2 days, and Sawyer's just not asking about Kate.
Yeah, apparently. It took him that long to notice she was gone. Jesus. Bearing.
My bearing is the only bearing. The bear's a bearing.
No, you're not.
Oh, man! Is this
I think this
number
is the
one?
I think this is the first. We'll talk about this later.
Oh, nice. That's the best. Oh, classic Sayid.
It never happens. It never happens. It's a big lie, Sayid. Smoke Monster? Vincent?
Yep. He's got a bell on.
I forgot that episode where he walked around with a bell on.
Yeah.
It was a weird choice.
So you know Smokey's coming. Get the bell.
Clang, clang.
This island needs more cowbell.
This really could be the smoke monster.
Good. Like you can't prove it's not.
You really can't. I dare you to try.
Yeah.
Like, he's acting like the smoke monster.
Doing everything a smoke monster does,
It's totally true.
which is being a cow.
Which is exactly.
Wow, this is crazy. So we see this farm with a satellite and a farmer who's got how many eyes?
One-eyed Farmer Joe.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
farmer. Oh wow.
The reveal. It's
Yeah,
that guy.
Saeed was he there when they saw him?
Yeah, he was there.
He was there. Okay.
Yeah, he hooked up the feed.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else?
See, this is why Saeed and Locke won't have that talk because
He
this
found
guy-
it. And I guess it sets up the idea that like this wasn't even what they were supposed to find.
Yeah, they were following the bearing that led them here, but that wasn't where they were trying to go.
Yeah, like it's sort of like the dream
Mm-hmm.
where like they never really found what they were supposed to find because
Yeah.
Boone died. Thanks, Boone. This is Sawyer's last like attempt to have his stash.
Yeah.
He finally gets over.
Who the hell are you? You can't say who the hell are you if they're there the whole time.
I know. He's the audience.
Yeah, but that's the problem
It's a
with
cheat.
these characters is they can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I agree. That's the inherent flaw with Nikki and Paolo. They were there the whole time and they know everything, but our characters are like, we don't know you.
Yeah, they're treating them like the audience, which
we
is
never
not what
see
the audience wants. The audience wants them to be treated like they've been there the whole time.
Right. But I think they think the audience will like it more if they react the way the audience does.
Yep, and they're wrong.
And they're wrong.
Yep.
They misjudge things sometimes. Which one's Hidden Dragon?
Yeah. We know which one's Crouching Tiger.
Oh, I forgot about that.
For a week?
No
So
nicknames.
See, like, in the real world, she would have said forever, but because it's the TV show...
They're not going to keep that.
Yeah. A week means one episode.
A week means, for like 5 minutes at the end.
Yeah, and then, we can be back
Then
to
they'll
normal.
forget about that. Because, if it was really like, I can't use nicknames for the rest of the show, that would be kind of a big thing.
Yeah. Bigger than ping pong.
But I like the idea of Sun betting that.
Yeah. She's the hidden dragon.
She is clearly the hidden dragon. Oh, I mention a lot of things. That's a good question, though. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
Especially because I know what the radio tower is.
Well, it's nice that they brought it up and she said no.
Yeah.
But if he is anyway.
Oh, I remember this line.
Great line. That's how I've been here so long. Being isolated and waiting for main characters to talk to me.
Yeah. I'm going to sit this out. Have fun, guys.
Yeah.
You're not going to have Russo to toss around for this adventure.
He's got to go sell some doll traps.
That's a good question. What is she doing?
Good old Saeed cooking up some food.
Yeah, remember that when he was on Top Chef for a week?
Indeed.
Always using those fake names.
Oh, yeah, this.
Yeah.
That was an awkward way to give me a compliment. Please, you have Iraqi written all over your face. Iraq by way of England.
It's tea time, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I make nothing here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I make $1 million here. You gonna double that? Thus began a strange love affair. They met over a delicious meal. They wound up in the afterlife
I have
together.
a feeling the meal wasn't really that great.
No.
I think it was a pretense.
Yeah.
No offense, but yeah, I don't think he's the greatest chef ever. They should have talked
Look at
about
the
that.
cat!
Oh, I forgot about the cat!
Evil cat.
Ah, damn you, Nadia the cat.
Yeah.
That's such a weird. Like, what are they doing? This is the Smoke Monster 2, by the way.
Geez.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm Syrian.
And I'm a torturer.
Well, now he shot you in the arm. You're less armed. So I want to dissect what he said. Like, we had a truce.
Mhm.
You said I could stay here.
Yeah. This is like, he's already doing a, what's it called?
A ruse.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
He's
already
ripping
got
it
like a
up.
thing he's saying. He's pretending to be someone.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know.
So he's wearing this Dharma outfit. So
Yep.
we think he's Dharma.
Yep. And it's going to help when he tells us something.
Oh, you mean that?
Like that.
Wow. Wow. He's so lying.
That is a good commercial break. Just for
That
the
is
record.
great. No, that is awesome.
I was so excited when I heard that, and gullible me, I believed him.
Yeah. That's a
Because
great line.
I think it's hard to remember that at this stage we don't actually know.
Like
well,
anything.
Yeah, anything. We don't know what happened with the Dharma Initiative. We don't know what their relationship is with the others.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it kind of seems like they might be the same thing, or there's a relationship between the two.
Yeah, and we've been waiting to meet somebody for Dharma.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it was exciting. Like, oh man, cool.
Yeah.
We'll get into some Dharma stuff. He's way cooler than any of the real Dharma people.
Yeah, I totally agree. Says a lot about Dharma.
It does. And that's, like, it's so lost. Like, this story he tells, I don't know how much, if any of it is true. It could
Yeah.
be about him being recruited into others, or it could be all lies, and we have no way of ever really knowing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And that's the last time Kate ever opened a cabinet.
Is that supposed to be from the cows outside?
I guess.
Is the implication that the burgers that they made for Jack come from these cows?
Oh my god. If they don't, then they'd have some explaining to do.
I feel like I
Yeah.
never thought about that before.
Yeah. Oh my
Wow.
god.
Because like Juliet was like, I killed the cow and I
Yeah.
rendered the vat, and it's like that might be kind of true.
Ready to play.
Oh god, of course
So
Locke's ready to
weird.
play. And someone's watching him too? Come on.
Yeah.
Quit watching people, Dharma. Jesus.
Well, I've never played chess before. I guess I was just sitting down and play some chess.
Oh, that Locke voice. Oh my god.
He deserves it.
Oh, this is the first we hear about the Purge.
Yeah. This is so strange. To like have this whole story ready to tell.
Yeah.
For why?
Yeah.
To who?
Yeah.
Because of what? Like, why are you ready to, like, he could have just said nothing and just helped them.
Yeah.
Like, why weave this tale?
It's kind of crazy. You pulling that bullet out of me makes me remember something from my past. Is he in Paris?
It has to be.
Was that the Eiffel Tower in the background?
Or he's in Las Vegas and it's that fake mini Eiffel Tower. There's 10 Sammys here.
We're all named Sammy.
Yeah, this is the Sammy meeting. Wow, he's tall.
Yeah. I think Naveen Andrews is short also.
Mm,
I think he's like 5'6", 5'7". I remember that. He's like Tom Cruise.
He's the Tom Cruise of...
Tom Cruise. Yes. Exactly. Of British television.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. How many Sammys does it take to hold Saeed?
Looks like 2. Now I'm going to sell you up.
Yeah, see, I feel like he did have some kind of military training.
That's my old girlfriend? She's a cat now?
That is such a weird thing
crazy.
To me. Like, I almost want to believe he's doing that just to fuck with them, but I also think it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, it's a coincidence. Like, if they didn't have that poster...
Yeah, the poster sells it. But I almost think he just put up the poster to sell it.
Just in case this ever happens.
Exactly.
Poster up. Yeah. Well, because he's probably read their file, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, he knows what it means to Saeed.
But that's such a... Like, what could happen if Saeed thinks that, like, here's the name, not, like, there's almost zero effect on him. So to go through all that work for, like, nothing.
It's not a big payoff.
Just for the head games, you know?
How can it cheat?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, it can't cheat so much as be programmed to not follow the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. But you should be able to catch it not following the rules, right? I mean, if you pay attention. I mean...
Yeah, you're like, that rook just moved 20 spots.
Exactly.
Do that, yeah.
Exactly. Of course, Saeed figured it out.
Saeed, I mean, again, just like, this is exactly why we love him. Like, he's the only person who's like 2 steps ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this because I think at this point the audience didn't really even necessarily suspect that.
Wait, hold on. So not only that, but there's somebody else in here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
This is. I'm gonna keep watching the show forever now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why Saeed was like great to have around.
Yeah, nobody else,
Gets the
and
upper hand like that.
not only gets the upper hand, but like knows how to play it cool,
Yeah.
knows like what to do, like
Mm-hmm.
so great.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Mikhail and him are kind of similar in the way they're
Yeah.
approaching this, and that's why it's such an elaborate game between them.
Yeah, it's like two samurais battling.
Yeah,
It's like two people with the same sort of skill set going head to
exactly.
head.
Yeah.
And they both know they're playing a game, but neither knows the other knows that the
Right.
other knows.
Exactly. Meanwhile, back at the camp,
Meanwhile, something less interesting is happening.
way less interesting. This is almost like tree fog level boring.
Yeah.
Like, who cares about this? Thank you. Thank you.
It was almost like since Locke and Saeed and Jack aren't there, like the kids can have some fun.
Yeah, yeah, that is what it's like. Oh, I
Oh,
forgot. That's the T
any
line.
tea's good tea. I feel like that's so not true.
I
There's
know.
got to be, if you really love tea, there's got to be bad tea out there.
I agree.
I feel like if you don't care about tea, then any tea's good tea.
Yeah, maybe that's the point.
But it can't be.
I
He's
don't
got
think
to
it
love
is.
tea.
He does. He obviously does.
And that's the interesting thing about this story is there's some truth, there's some
Hmm.
misdirection, there's some reappropriating,
Yeah.
other people's ideas and history.
The submarine thing is true.
Yeah. So he's calling the hostiles the others, or he's calling the others the hostiles.
Yeah.
Is that who Mikhail is referring to? Like, are they on the same page about who the hostiles are, or is it just?
I think so because that's what the others called the Dharma Initiative. So I think he's
Oh shit!
just or Dharma Initiative called the others. Oh dear, he revealed it.
I love that.
It's
Let's move to
great.
the next level.
Yeah.
Like, let's just start fighting now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that he starts punching his bullet wound.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll fight dirty. I don't care.
Saeed should have said, "Have a seat."
It's all about winning. Really should have.
Locke comes in. Did I miss something?
Oh,
Get some rope. What
I
is
was
this? A
trying to
pace
play
commercial?
chess.
You brought salsa from New York City? Get a rope.
Not the bowl of death.
No. Wow, he didn't even want to see what it was first.
No. Woo.
Done. I'm from London,
Can't you
mate.
hear? I've obviously got an accent. I think one thing about this flashback that I was never really settled on is whether he remembers her or not.
Mm-hmm.
And could she even be wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Like she saw him, but he's maybe not the one who did it.
Yeah, I don't think her memories are evidence, like she
Yeah.
was under duress.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could have just been there, or
Mhm.
like it's weird how they don't show flashbacks or sort of make it clear what the truth is,
Yeah.
you know? And of course, he did torture people, so it's not like, you know, it's not like
Yeah.
it's a
Well, I feel
completely
like
false charge.
I kind of want to believe him that he doesn't remember her and that because he's like, yeah, I'll tell the truth. I was a torturer, but like, I didn't actually torture
Right,
her.
right. Yeah, like, why lie at that point?
Saeed and his detective skills.
Oh, the horse, the stirrups.
The
Damn
stirrups.
it. When the sky turned purple, which no one saw, but okay.
Nobody saw that. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Did he check every nook and cranny while he was playing that computer game?
He obviously didn't. God, they make Locke look so stupid.
Yeah, he's just a funny duddy.
I know. No, Saeed, here it is.
And Saeed has done like 20 things in this time that Locke has done nothing.
I know.
And he even did this. And he's like, yeah, I found where they're hiding. And
yeah, it's right here. Just shut up, Locke.
Yeah.
You're clearly
I'm over here playing psychological warfare with our enemy, and you're playing a computer game, and I still know there's other people here.
Yeah, it's great that he like saw the stirrup height and figured out there must be someone else there.
And he even figured why they, justification for why somebody has to come out there. And yeah, it's great.
It really is. It really is. I feel like, a lot of other characters are not allowed to have that much, insight or knowledge about what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be that he did it and he didn't remember.
Yeah.
Or that it was just somebody else and she saw him and like, her memories kind of, because it was so traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't imagine that he remembers everybody he tortured.
Yeah, that seems logical.
Also, I'd like to think, not like to think, but I would imagine they would torture him the same way she was tortured, but they can't put acid on him because he doesn't have it in the future.
That would have, implications. Why are your arms burned today, Saeed?
Well, you see, I had this flashback.
Ultimate retcon.
Really, Locke? Well, he's sleeping.
Oh my god.
No one ever wakes up after they're asleep.
You really shouldn't voice his exact thoughts. It's not fun to hear.
I have to.
Like, why? Why is he so gullible and frustrating?
He wasn't like that before. Like, he didn't start off like that.
I agree. This is definitely him degenerating. He's been like this since season 2.
I think his spirit got broken when he was like, should I press the button or not? And he never recovers from that.
Yeah. Yeah, and now he's messing around with a computer again, and he's like, he thinks he's gonna get something out of it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's something about the computer thing. I think that's also getting him.
I definitely think that's it. Yeah, it's like a second chance at the button.
Yeah.
Like, I was wrong last time, but this time I'll push it. I promise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the files, all the records.
The files.
Read it all and show it to the camera, please.
And like, there's nothing.
Food drop protocol. Yeah, no, that's blank paper.
Exactly. And I remember thinking, if I could read those fucking binders, I would know everything. And it's not true because Dharma didn't know anything.
No.
Well, I could learn more about Dharma procedure. Great.
Yeah, great.
That's really helpful.
Ah, yes. I've figured out the secrets of the island.
Yeah, if he's happy, disappointment's just around the corner.
For pallet drop?
Mm-hmm.
Nation uplink.
That's such a simple answer that I didn't even realize it at the time.
What?
The pallet drops, like, that's how they happen.
Like somebody calls it in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like looking back, I didn't take that for how straightforward it is. Like, why is the video bad on the computer screen? I don't understand that.
Ah! Because it was recorded on video and somehow digitized, right? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't have a digital video camera, but then
Yeah.
also they had computers, so I don't know what happened.
And here's
And
the
the quality's
investable
like
thing.
really good too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when it was a film or a VHS tape, it made sense that it was
Yeah.
degraded. But yeah, that doesn't really. It's just like the style. They feel like they have to do it. But
Yeah, it's old.
and I'll just mention Mikhail coming up behind him was the inevitable conclusion of his need to play chess. Hey, are you Stirrups?
Hey, Stirrups.
What are you doing in here, Stirrups?
Uh-oh. Get a clue. Oh yeah, that's how he's like, looks like I found a clue.
KLUGH.
Yeah, KLUGH.
No one expected that spelling. The GH is silent. I punch everyone who was at the dock.
Yeah. Dock punch.
Yeah. Stand on the dock, you get punched. I'm a dock puncher. I remember kind of feeling like she's different in this episode than she was in season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something. I don't know. This all plays very strangely now that we've seen the whole show because they're really invested, and I don't know what they're invested in.
Yeah.
Like they're protecting something that I'm not sure it's worth protecting.
Yeah.
Like she's willing to die for what?
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like this is a little contrived. Like, they
Yeah.
wanted to get rid of this character that they had established.
Yeah.
Like, I think she couldn't come back for more time. I think if I remember right, she was even supposed to be the Juliet role. But, like, the way she's behaving is so different from when she questioned Michael or when she was on the dock.
Yeah.
She's just like,
Well, she was a facilitator back then, and here she's just kind of caught in the crossfire.
she's just kind of, yeah, like, quiet, intense, and, like, ruthless. But, yeah, like, that menacing quality isn't there anymore.
Well, because she never has the upper hand.
That's true. But like I feel like Ben managed to still be creepy even when he didn't have the upper hand. Like she didn't really
Yeah.
maintain that.
Well, she was in like 30 seconds
Well, fair enough.
before she died.
Maybe that was the problem. Maybe it just wasn't enough time, but
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was kind of dissatisfying because I liked her in season 2.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to have more to do than that.
To rub it in.
She was also in that aborted series. What was it called? The 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 lost something. The lost artifacts.
I
The
don't
lost Code. I can't remember what it was called. That's with the guy from 6 Feet Under.
Which guy?
Nate.
Oh. Get bit.
Get bit.
He's still playing?
He won't stop. I don't care what's going on. I'm playing this game.
And that's the other thing, like, all this is happening and he's not telling anybody.
Yeah. Classic Locke, though. He wants to keep it for himself. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the hostiles did incur.
It's not false. It's true. But he should have thought through what that might mean.
Yeah.
And they've already established the explosives.
Yeah, but Locke didn't see it.
I know. Of course he didn't see it. He didn't see anything. He's sitting in front of a computer screen the whole time. Okay, so he says like everything else was true, so that may be the case.
Actually, it was the other way.
Yeah, it was pretty much the other way.
Wait, what?
And Jack's daughter. I don't know why. This is a good thing. I don't know why he's trying to protect the barracks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, once they know where it is, it doesn't really change anything.
That's what I was saying about Clue dying. Like,
yeah.
they're putting it all on the line, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and so, like, I think... I love this. He's got a logic.
This is great.
He's like, already... Yeah, this is clearly where it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that later on, when it seems like the others like barely care about what they're doing, it's like, well, some of them were committed.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, I don't know why.
Because of this flashback.
This is gonna explain everything.
Now the cat gets a turn.
Oh no! Enter the cat.
Cat looks bigger.
That was the original title. I think it's a different cat. There's no way.
Yeah, it was like a kitten when we first saw it.
Oh, it was earlier in the episode?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking of the cat on the island.
You're thinking of Nadia.
I'm thinking of Nadia.
Yeah. Though right. I think, if I remember right, this cat's also named Nadia.
Yeah. It's a time-traveling cat.
This cat is so not acting.
No.
I'm sitting here because I feel like it. I'm not interested in what you humans want to do with my image.
Oh, you guys shooting a big production? Whatever. Just pet me.
There's a cat Game of Thrones story I have to tell you when I get there.
Oh, jeez.
Just totally hilarious. But let's just say cats are not cooperative. He reads with me when I sleep.
He's a cat.
He's definitely a cat. He wants second breakfast.
I just read 2 news stories about cats terrorizing people to the point they have to call 911. It's insane. I'm like, it's just a cat, but somehow they terrorize people. They like barricade themselves in their rooms and like the God. Cat won't let us leave.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's crazy. Take this cat off my hands.
I can't live with this cat anymore. Please take the cat.
Yeah, I think she just wants this to be him for closure. Like, she wants validation to move on
Yeah.
with her life, and she'll take it from whoever she can get it from. I mean, she's almost saying that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, that's the humane thing to do at this point, no matter if he, even if it means lying. Like,
Right. Right.
yeah, all of this. Yeah, I think he's lying.
Okay.
Look at those fake tears. He's fake crying. He's squeezing them out.
Saeed's not as good as Naveen is.
Keep squeezing.
Come on, blink more.
Yeah.
Get him out.
Your face is haunting me every day. Yeah, I think I used to buy that. Now I don't believe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of bought it at the time, but it's not 100% clear the way they play it. And I think you're right. It could easily go the other way, and it makes sense.
I think he's just with his character, I think he's aware enough to know what he needs to do in this situation. Can I still get the chef job?
I was promised twice the pay.
Twice as much. Cat was a metaphor.
But what did the cat do to the children?
No, the cat ate all of them. Meow. And scene.
Meanwhile, oh, he told us a lot of things. Of course he did. Oh God, I remember this.
This is so good.
This is so crazy.
Wow.
I don't think that's what he meant.
What did you do, John? I just listened to the computer.
You can't blame me for that.
Man, all the cows.
I know. What are those cows gonna do now?
Nadia the cat?
What about Nadia? Won't someone think of Nadia?
Wow. What a blunder.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, there she is.
She's got 8 lives left.
Are you gonna take care of me now?
Oh, sad cat.
Yeah, that was a sad cat shot. Good acting.
Nice. They ended on the cat.
They ended on the cat. What the fuck? Same to you, cat.
Same to you, cat. Wow, what an episode. What an episode.
That was incredible. That was incredible. That thing at the end there, like, is hilarious.
The what?
It's like the place exploding. Like,
oh yeah, it's insane.
Like I was thinking about it, and it's like Locke comes out of there and he's like, I know why you didn't want me to beat the computer or whatever. Doesn't he say something like that?
Yeah, he's
like now I know.
Yeah.
And like he thinks he like uncovered a secret, you know? Because he found like, oh, there's a hostile like incursion, then I should press this button and they don't want me to do that. And he's not really like, he's like, that's gonna get them somehow.
Yeah.
But like it actually screws them over more than it does the others.
Yep.
So it's just like, oh my God. And I love how Saeed just like rolls his eyes and it's just like, all right, anyway.
Yeah, he was really, really mad, and he was just like, "God damn it, Locke."
Yeah, he's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with you? Can we just go now?
Yeah.
But it's also like functional. It's the thing we talked about a million times. You blow it up, that means they're done with it.
Yeah, I guess we had the Swan Station imploding, and
Hmm.
then is this the next one?
I
The
guess
next,
so.
let's get rid of a set by blowing it up.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else they've really blown up yet with that, like, we'll never visit this place again.
Yeah, like I'm curious though because I don't think Locke was there when Mikhail said, "Hey, let's end this game," and they started fighting.
Hmm.
So it's not like he knows, or it's not like he thinks, he's not under the impression that Mikhail is a hostile, right?
I assumed that he figured it out once Mikau came up behind him with the knife.
But because he's not Dharma, that means he's a hostile.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
not
No,
a
okay.
crazy
Like,
leap, I guess, but
did Saeed not tell him that's what he thought? I don't remember what they said to each other.
I don't think so.
Because, like, Saeed thought he was another.
You're right. Saeed thought he was another. I guess there's only two choices.
So, yeah, I think at this point, that's pretty much it. Like, if he's not that, then he must be another. It's like
Yeah,
Henry Gale.
it comes off like Locke is like tattletelling.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, there's a hostile. I get to be the one to
Yes.
pet 7-7. Like
Totally.
I get to do it. Look at me.
Dharma.
Ooh, it's like I'll be the hero and Dharma will thank me.
Dharma's his daddy.
Dharma's his daddy, not Daddy Dharma.
I'm gonna tell daddy on you.
Oh jeez, he's
Nice
gonna love me,
try.
man. Yeah, now he'll love me.
Now he'll love me.
He'll give me that kidney back. Yeah. So that's weird. You know what I realized too is when Mikhail comes in with the knife to Locke's throat, he was actually stopping Locke from pressing 7-7 that first time. Like, and what's weird is he's saving him from himself. And
Yeah.
you don't really realize that. You think, oh, he's just being the bad guy. But actually, no, like, he probably knows what that does.
Yeah.
And he's, like, stopping Locke from blowing them all up.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird that he's actually, it was good that he, got himself untied and did that, or else they would have all died. Because Locke would have pressed the button and they wouldn't have known that it was going to explode.
That's a good point. But another thing just popped in my head, just thinking ahead a little bit, because I was talking about them showing the explosives, and if I remember right, Locke must have seen the explosives, because I believe he took some of the dynamite with him, and he's going to be using it shortly. So, like, I'm pretty sure he did see the explosives in the
I think he saw it afterwards, right? Like when he and Kate stay behind when Saeed and Mikhail leave at the very end of the episode, and then Russo's like, "Oh, where's everybody else?" And they're looking to see if there's anything useful in the station.
So he saw it right after he pressed 7-7?
I'm assuming. Well, I don't think we ever see on screen where he sees the dynamite, because we never see him go down underneath, right?
Right.
So I'm assuming that there's a cut scene there where Saeed and delete scene where Saeed and Mikhail are outside and Kate and Locke are that's the other thing too, right? Because Saeed has the map to where the barracks are, and I think they got that from underneath where the documents are.
Definitely.
So I think the idea is Locke afterwards. I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't. You can't. It's Schrodinger's. Schrodinger's 7-7. Like, when did Locke press did he press it on his way out the door? Did he press it before he saw the dynamite, and then they still had enough time to get supplies and then leave, or did he get the supplies and then press it on his way out? Like, I guess you can't really tell.
But I guess even if he saw the dynamite afterwards, it seems that he still didn't really think, like, oh, this place might be rigged to explode.
I don't think there's any way he knew that pressing that code would cause it to explode. I just rhymed that.
Like, I feel like if he excellent.
Thanks.
I feel like if he had talked to Saeed about that, if he had shared some information, if he had said, like, what he saw on the computer, Saeed would have been like, this place is probably rigged to explode.
That would have been Saeed's first, if he's like, oh, there's a code, if the hostiles here press F7, Saeed's first guess would have been,
yeah.
Don't press that, it's gotta explode this place.
Exactly.
Because Saeed has the kind of background to know you booby trap. If you're in a situation where you're against an enemy force in your same territory, you don't want them to get your stuff.
You blow it up.
You blow it up. You booby trap it.
It's really simple, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's no way that's kind of goes to their central character traits where like Locke always wants to play war.
Yeah.
He wants to play like he's playing this chess game. Like
right.
He wants to play hero and play these battles, but Saeed's the one who's actually been in war
right.
and actually knows the consequences and the realities. And so they kind of this is sort of a template episode for their two different characters. Like they're both in the same situation. Locke regresses to a child for no apparent reason and just wants to play video games. While Saeed is like doing like spy work,
basically everything,
and he's uncovering like ruse after ruse within a ruse, and
observing stirrup heights.
Stirrup heights. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. I think that's actually a good observation that feels really right on with what they were going for, that like the chess as a fake war sort of scenario, you know, that is what you're simulating.
Yeah.
And that's what he really can do, you know, but like when it comes to the real war, he's useless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it goes back to him in the box factory.
Yeah, totally. He was doing that war game on the phone or whatever in that first scene they showed him.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about, you know, because I've seen him in Terry O'Quinn, that is, not Locke, in Star Trek and X-Files. Mm-hmm. It seems like he usually played before, or at least often played like military characters.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of feel like, in retrospect, like thinking about it, I kind of feel like they were somewhat playing off his type, you know, when they do that first scene. Like, you're supposed to think he could plausibly be a military guy.
Yeah.
When he has that first scene. I never really thought about that before, but like maybe that was kind of what he was normally cast as, and so they were kind of twisting that and saying, oh no, he's actually the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's right.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really appreciate that before, I think. Because I didn't have, before I saw this show, I had not really noticed him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the kind of actor who's been in a lot of stuff, but you don't really, he's never like the main guy, so.
Yeah. Oh, and I think he was on Alias, too. Also playing like some kind of government official. I think he's in that episode where it's kind of a clip show and they're like doing some kind of trial.
Like he comes in.
Yeah.
To something
to like review what she did, and she has to justify something or other, and he's on some kind of committee, and so that wasn't the best episode. Anyway.
Yeah, just from the description, I was thinking, that wasn't a great one, was it?
It really wasn't.
The one where she has to justify what she did in some other episode. Great.
Yeah, and so then they just show clips. Like, it was clearly just like a kind of a waste of an episode.
Yeah.
Though it had a really cool ending. Anyway, that's Alias. Sorry.
No. What did Sydney Bristow do this time?
It's a cool show. Anyone who likes Lost should check it out. It's not on the level of Lost for me, but it's definitely like hitting some of the same points.
Yeah.
For sure. And it has some great moments.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 13 is the apex of that show, in my opinion.
They peaked early.
They did. I like the later seasons, but yeah, there's some not so good stuff too.
Or
Anyway,
it had an apex and then it plateaued at that level for the rest of the show. I guess that's another. Is that what you're saying? Like it was as good as that for the rest of the show.
I wasn't really saying that, but you could interpret it that way if you choose to.
All right. So, all right, Intercept 7.
Yes. Oh.
So again, yeah. So Locke being. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I thought of another thing, but if you have a thing, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because I was gonna slightly change direction.
All right.
So the other thing I think's really weird about this episode is the extent to which it's cat centric.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they have like a cat. You know, Mikhail has a cat, and the woman in the flashback has a cat, and they're focusing on the cat like quite a lot. The woman has a long monologue about the cat.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of shots. This episode ends with the cat, and there are shots of the cat, and Mikhail talks about the cat. It's just like, it's an abnormal amount of cat for a single episode.
Well, looking at the credits, it looks like it was written by somebody named J Cat Meow.
Well, that explains everything.
Co-written with Whisker B. Buttons.
You know, they did really well with the human characters.
They did.
I gotta give them credit.
Well, I think they're great observationists.
They have a future.
They didn't really capture the cats very well.
The cats were actually the weakest characters, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was underdeveloped, the cat roles.
They kind of just sat there.
Yeah. They didn't really get a cat a lot to do.
They had no agency in the story. I just think that's a weird choice. Like Damon and Carlton wrote this episode, and I wonder why they decided to make cats a focal point. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just weird to me. Like they didn't need that. The whole episode works fine if you remove the cats. I mean, her monologue can be adjusted to not focus on the cats.
Yeah, I think her monologue needs that metaphor to make her turn work. Like she needs something to talk about that ties into her torment.
Yeah.
But and then that leads to her sort of redemption that she can give to Sayid. Like I see why they need the cat.
Yeah. I agree, but then having the cat also.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they started there with the cat in the flashback, and then they wanted to tie it in. There's other animals at the farm.
Right. It's an animal farm.
If there's an animal farm, and they're all dead now. It's all barbecue animals.
They're just about to revolt.
Good, we stopped them.
Yeah, no one wants to see that season.
Jeez, where the animals take over.
Yeah, exactly.
The polar bears and the tree frogs and the spiders all team up. The
boars.
Yeah, and the boars all team up with the cows and the horses.
Oh gosh. And the Hurley-bird.
Oh, the Hurley-bird, of course. Overseeing everything, literally.
He's a leader.
Yeah, your big plan is to Hurley. We get it. We Hurleyed last time. You always say Hurley. Yeah. So it's it makes it sort of supernatural to have the cats in both time, like a coincidence, you know.
Yeah, kind of like Kate's horse thing.
Yeah, it's kind of an uncanny coincidence that there's another cat. Now, did they say the cat was Nadia? They didn't say Nadia was.
I guess they didn't say that. I thought that they did, but I didn't catch her saying that the cat was actually named Nadia. Also, yeah. That would have been a little too much.
Yeah, that's too much. You can't have two cats in two timelines, both named Nadia.
Yeah, and
not be the same cat, you know?
It's excessive. Yeah, I guess that's the other thing. The cats don't look the same.
That's the other thing that I think they probably thought about doing was somehow making it the same cat.
Yeah.
I think it's probably too long of a time difference, but if there was some way where it could have been like, oh, is that the like she had a kitten or something, and she's like, this
Yeah.
is my kitten Nadia, and then later,
Right.
Mikhail,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be crazy. Well, because like with the horse, it seemed like it was the same horse. Like it looked like the same horse.
hmm
You know, which makes me think it was the smoke monster or something, which is still completely baffling to me. But nonetheless, in this case, this cat like is, I mean, Mikhail's living with it. Like he's got a name for it, and like, I just can't quite imagine the Man in Black like living out time as like Mikhail's cat.
Well, he gets free food and grooming. I don't know. It's worse ways to live, I
Maybe
think.
it's a deal. You're right.
Poop wherever you want. Like nobody cares. Hawk up a
Fair enough.
football if you feel the need. I don't know. Cat's got it made.
You're right. You're right. I didn't think about it that way. And, just all of that just to fuck with Saeed slightly. Like, because, yeah, he didn't really care that much. It's just kind of like, Nadia? What? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it kind of makes me think that, again, as we talked about this season, even season 2 has some of this, like, it doesn't seem like there's that strong of a connection between the flashback and the on-island story.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't really seem to tie together, I would say.
Well, it's about why Saeed doesn't kill Mikhail, right? Or I guess that's at least as close as it ties in.
Oh, is that the big idea? That's sort of what's informing his decision at the end?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
that's why he's not just so eager to kill him, because he doesn't even, like he even says, he doesn't need him to get to the barracks.
That's why he's like, he's my prisoner. I will decide his fate.
Yeah.
And I will have mercy because this woman had mercy on me, like something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. I'll kind of buy that. Because otherwise, it seems like the cat's the main connection.
Otherwise, it rests on the cat.
And you don't want a whole thing in the episode to rest on the cat. That's never a good idea.
Unless it's a Garfield episode.
Good point.
Then the cat.
In that case, probably a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's. I mean, the flashback was fine. It wasn't really spectacular. I mean, It wasn't sort of a big revelation. It's kind of strange now thinking about it that, if the theory we have is true, that it's just like she's wrong, or she really thinks it's him, but her memory isn't as clear as she thinks it is, or she just wants vindication, or whatever the story is. And then he's just telling her what she wants to hear, and like that's the whole thing. And it's sort of like he's getting repentance for his torturing, even if this isn't someone he actually tortured.
Yeah.
Because
he gets an opportunity to apologize to some victim of torture
who was tortured. Yeah.
Yeah, and she gets to get an apology from someone who did torture.
Who was a torturer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's sort of, which is fine, but I mean, especially because it feels like he hasn't hit his redemption yet. It's sort of, I don't really, and I mean, that flashback story doesn't really come into play later, so it kind of feels like a, one-off thing that doesn't really matter once we're done with this episode.
Yeah, it's a good. I like the flashback though. Like it's an interesting conflict. It's like for his past to sort of come back to haunt him, and this whole idea that like the repercussions of his actions are still reverberating out in the world. Like people are still dealing with what he did, just because he's moved on and he's cooking now. Like there's still people out there who he can't run from the past, basically.
Right.
Which is always an interesting thing to kind of talk about.
Right.
So yeah, these people finding him and wanting to torture him was pretty interesting. Um, and yeah, I think there should be there's something that's supposed to mirror what's happening on the island because Saeed doesn't torture Mikhail for information.
Right.
They're uh they're great characters. Like I think in a different world they would have been friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
they have a similar mentality, and I think there's this like gentleman's agreement between the two of like of I mean not Mikhail's like I'll kill you in a minute, but
Hmm.
the way they're kind of treating it like they're on the same page in terms of like what's going on.
Right.
I think anybody else in this situation with Mikhail would have been having Mikhail would have had the upper hand.
Right.
Even Jack or Sawyer or anybody else. No one else in the Losty camp can play the game Mikhail's playing.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It seems like they, like, Mikhail's manning this communication station. It kind of feels like they occupy a similar position within their group.
Yeah.
Like he's the techie guy among the others,
Hmm.
like Saeed is for, our characters. And so, like, they're kind of the same person. His military background is presumably true based on what he says at the end.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I do question a little bit his. Oh wait, one more thing about the other thing before I get to that. I agree the flashback is like well done, like it's good. I don't dislike it. It just doesn't have the weight of Saeed's Nadia flashbacks or the Christian
Hmm.
Shepherd stuff or the stuff with Locke's dad, like the stuff that resonates big time over the whole show. You
Oh yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like it feels more one-offy in that way, so it just feels like it matters less in that sense. But I like for what it is, it's well done. I agree.
Hmm.
But what I was gonna say is that uh, the question of his recruitment, because I mean he says I wasn't a Dharma Initiative member, but everything else was true.
Yeah.
And I think Damon and Carlton are pretty um they're pretty consistent about like if they're gonna tell you something, they usually if they say something directly like that, it is a message to the audience,
Yeah.
you know? So that makes me wonder if he actually met Jacob, if Jacob recruited
Well,
him or what happened exactly.
so it's tough for me to believe that he saw an ad in the paper that said "Want to save the world," because that doesn't seem like an others thing.
Mhm.
That seems like a Dharma thing.
Mhm.
That seems like how like Roger got recruited or something.
Right.
Like some desperate person answering an ad for some hopeful
Well,
cause.
that's part of the problem is that he's pretending to be Dharma at that point, so it's a story that's supposed to make sense for Dharma.
Hmm.
On the other hand, technically, uh, what Jacob is doing is supposed to be saving the world. So, you
Wait,
know,
he's supposed to be protecting the island.
yeah, but that's saving the world, sorta, right? Maybe.
Uh,
I
maybe.
mean, let's just say potentially. I mean, insinuations were made to that effect.
Sure.
Whether they're true or not, who knows? But it seemed like at least Jacob thought that there was some
I
bigger
just don't.
importance.
I don't believe. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know how detailed we want to get with his story and how much that really happened. Like how much we want to tie his statement that everything was true except that he was with Dharma. How much we want to tie that to what story he gave because I just don't believe that Jacob would find recruits like that. I feel like he's got the lighthouse to find people who are worthy. And I feel like so much of the others as an organization that we know is Ben related. So maybe I could see maybe Ben recruiting that way,
Yeah.
but not Jacob. I feel like Jacob has to be hands off. Like he doesn't care. Like if he's not directly bringing people to the island through uh magic, for lack of
Yeah.
a better word, then I don't think he's doing it.
Well, that's kind of what I was asking, like, because I could also see it being more like Juliet. You know,
Yeah,
she was recruited a little bit in that way. I mean, it wasn't a newspaper ad, but it was
but
a kind of
a
like,
similar, yeah, a great cause,
yeah,
yeah, like for sure. I think it's more like that, and I feel like, I mean, he knows about the purge. I mean, I guess that's the question is, how long has he been with them?
right.
Was he there around the purge time, or did he just know the history?
Yeah, like he might have been told. I don't know what we're supposed to think about that.
And there was a line that was a little confusing. Let me see if I can find it. He talked about the purge, and what did he said it kind of backwards, like something about scientists attacking, or what did he say?
Oh, the scientist lines? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't remember what they said, but I know what you're talking about. Um,
Yeah. So
you find
Mikhail
it?
says, I was never a member, but everything else I told you was true. I moved into this station after the purge. Okay,
Oh,
so the idea is
he was there before the
he
purge.
was there, yeah, for the purge. And then so he says the purge, in which a group of scientists attacked your people. And Mikhail says, believe what you want, but that is what happened. So
Ah, he's
so
lying.
so he's lying.
Yeah. I didn't
Now,
think about that. I was like, oh yeah, that is true, but no, it's the other way around.
yeah.
I'm so confused. So he's saying that the purge was the Dharma purging the others?
So he's saying
But then
that
he
there's
moved in afterwards? That's why it's backwards. I'm very
he's saying
confused.
there's the hostiles and there's Dharma, and that Dharma attacked the hostiles,
Yeah.
and then after the hostiles were gone, he as a hostile
Yeah.
moved
It
into
makes no
a
sense.
Dharma station.
It makes no sense. I don't understand. Now I'm totally confused. Like what is he talking about? I really
Oh man,
I really
this
don't
is
get
really
it.
yeah, this is really
I
confusing.
thought it was clear. What happened?
Lost happens. Somebody talks.
Damn it. All right, let me see this again.
I was never a member. Everything else I told you was true. I moved into this station after the purge. Part of this is, we've been through this before when we try to like dissect lines, where it's like part of a line is supposed to be true, part of a line is to the audience, part of a line is the character lying.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I see. Okay. Going back to earlier in the episode, maybe this will
uh-huh.
help. Maybe this will
Okay.
help. What happened to the Dharma Initiative, Saeed? Mikhail, they're all dead, of course. They foolishly initiated a war against the hostiles. The Purge, they called it.
Okay, what happened to Dharma? So Mikhail says Dharma died because they attacked the hostiles.
Yeah. So I think what's going on, it's just a little confusing because it doesn't quite line up with how they actually portray the Purge. But what he's saying is that the Purge represented a war between the hostiles and Dharma in which Dharma ended up all dead, and it was Dharma who called it the Purge. Like the idea seems to be that he's selling here seems to be that initially Dharma was trying to purge the others, but in retaliation, the others killed all of Dharma.
But okay. But the context here is he's pretending to be Dharma, right?
At this point, oh, is he still pretending at that point? God damn it, he is. Okay, so yes, that's correct.
So
But that's
that's
what he
why he
said.
gets so when he says the purge they called it. It seems like he's saying the hostiles called
Oh,
it
the
the purge.
hostiles called it that. Okay, you're right, because he's pretending to be Dharma at that point. Okay, sorry, you're right. The others called the war the purge, in which they killed them all. Okay, now it's actually a little more reasonable, a little closer to what actually happened.
Actually, no. I think it's the other way around. What happened to Dharma? Dharma is all dead, of course.
The they is Dharma, right?
Dharma foolishly initiated war against the others. The purge, Dharma called it.
Yeah. But it could be, I mean,
It
English is
could be,
tricky because
yeah.
he
It
just
could be
said the
either way.
hostiles, so it could be the purge the hostiles called it.
So if you initiate a war against somebody, why would the victims of that war call it a purge? Oh, I guess they're trying to purge us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So this
yeah.
this is the they're trying to purge us.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so maybe Dharma's not calling it. Dharma should call it the purge, but it's the hostiles who called it the purge.
I'm not sure which one he means. The grammar doesn't make it clear.
Yeah.
God damn you, Law.
How did you survive this purge? So, and it could be this weird thing with that sentence where there's a change, right? Like, yes, they initiated a war, but the retaliation of that initiation was the purge,
Right. Right.
and not the war itself, not the initiation of the war.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're
Wow,
saying.
wow, people, how did we get anything done with this English language?
It's really hard. It's really hard to figure out exactly what that means. And you're right, it doesn't help there's an extra layer of the fact that he's in the middle of lying to them.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
just
So then if we go back to the other part, okay, I moved into the station after the purge. Now, he said the purge was the initiated war, the Dharma attacked the others,
Yeah.
okay? Now, he said the purge in which a group of scientists attacked okay, so that is what he said.
Yeah.
He did say the scientists attacked. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is a lie. I mean, we know that the purge proper was Ben orchestrating the demise of Dharma.
Yeah, he's twisting what the purge is.
But there was, fighting between Dharma and
they
the others
did attack
before.
the others sometimes.
Yeah.
And so and in a sense the purge of the others on Dharma was a retaliation for those attacks. So it's not totally a lie, but it does seem kind of misleading.
But again, they are to the audience, they are basically saying the purge was when Dharma attacked the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not quite accurate.
Right.
But I guess I mean, Mikhail's not going to say that the others attacked Dharma, right? Like in this moment, he's not going to say he's not going to say the purge in which we attacked Dharma and won, like, oh, but okay, no, that's still fine. I was gonna say, well, how did Dharma die? Regardless of who did the purge, I guess Dharma can still die. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, it's really confusing.
It is. I don't remember it being that confusing.
Yeah. It just reminded me, this next line, Rousseau comes out and goes, so casually, your friends, did he kill them? Like, wow. Like, did he just kill Locke and Kate?
Jeez,
are you bereaved right now? Is that bereavement on your face? What a weird question. And it just made me think, like, she heard those gunshots that were happening all throughout that episode, starting with Mikhail shooting Saeed at the beginning, and she did not come to help.
Nah, she just chilled out.
Wow. Yeah, wow. I feel like this purge line of dialogue back and forth is like a mini version of The Cabin.
Yeah.
This weird. It's one thing in one context and a slightly different thing in another context.
And there's like lies mixed in.
Yeah.
And so it's like lies and manipulation, and it's just like, how can you untangle all of that? And then grammar gets involved.
And then everybody's worst friend, grammar, shows up.
It's like, damn it, why is that sentence so hard to interpret? Like, it's not clear if the purge is the war or the final result of Dharma being killed. It's not clear who called it the purge.
Yeah.
It's just like, why is it so
Yeah,
confusing?
was it like after Dharma was dead, then the others were like, okay, well, we purged them.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the purge after it's done, or the purge before they start?
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like that should have been clarified. But Yeah, I mean, it's not totally inconsistent with what they show later. It's just kind of not, I don't know.
Yeah. And he's basically saying, listen, Dharma did get killed. I did
Yeah,
move in here after they were done.
yeah.
Uh, so that part's true. I guess it's not clear why he's pretending to be Dharma. That didn't seem to get resolved.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing it's just because he doesn't want him to know he's part of the others.
But like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing to go, okay, I have an identity I want to protect, so for some reason. So I'll pretend to be somebody else in the off chance somebody who doesn't know who I really am. There's only like 40 people on the island who this even relates to, which is the Losties. Everybody else is an other.
Right.
So in case one of these 40 people show up or someone from outside the island shows up, which is unlikely, so it will happen, I will pretend to be this defunct scientist group, which potentially the person I'm trying to fool might know doesn't exist anymore, depending on what they know about the island. It's such a weird gambit to play, and it only lasts for so long. Even he calls it out, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's such a weird. Why not just be a normal? Why not just be Mikhail and go? I crash landed on this island,
Yeah, he
and
could
I
have done
found this
that.
place, and I don't know what Dharma is. I don't know who the hostiles are, but I'm
Mhm.
just in this spot. Like, it's
That
such
would
a
be
weird
the
thing.
Henry Gale story.
Oh, they did that already. That's
Yeah,
why.
I think that might be part of it.
I crashed in a hot air balloon. All right.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. I think they wanted to tease us with the Dharma member.
Yeah.
That's not really a reason for Mikhail to do it, but
Yeah. It's the reason the show's doing it. But
yeah, I,
it's so
I
weird.
I agree with you that it's like kind of a crazy idea that isn't necessarily the best plan.
I think the whole idea that they ever pretend to be Dharma is always weird. I don't think it ever makes sense. It would make sense in the 70s when Dharma is supposed to be around. Like, maybe right after the purge it made sense.
Mhm.
Like, if you kill all the Dharma people, so maybe off island Dharma people might show up to check on their people.
Right.
So you might want to have a little, you might want to fool them for a bit to get the upper hand. I can get that, but like 20 years later, you're still pretending to be Dharma
Yeah,
when
it's a bit much.
no one knows what even that. It's like putting on a mask where nobody. This is a bad analogy. Where
Oh
like
dear.
nobody knows what the mask is, so it doesn't even matter. You're wearing a mask.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
I kind of
It's like a disguise that like isn't effective because nobody knows what the disguise is. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying. I'll throw out a counterpoint, which is that just popped in my head, which is that Kelvin
Yeah.
was Dharma, I think. I mean, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And he knew Radzinski, I think.
Yeah.
Again, everything he says is a little suspect, but it seems to be true. And my impression is that he lived past the purge, right? Because Desmond was only there 3 years. And, he died the day the plane crashed, right? So the idea that there's a Dharma holdout, in one of these stations after all this time actually happened. So it's not, you know what I mean? If you think about Kelvin, it's not completely implausible that something like this happened.
Yeah, but my point, and that's a good point, but my
Thank
issue
you.
is,
I was
yeah,
proud of
no, it's a
myself.
good point. Yeah, pat on the back. My issue is that someone would pretend to be that person. Because it's almost like, you're almost proving my point again, where it's like, you'd have to know that there might be, that there's a precedent for a Dharma holdout to even be fooled by someone pretending to be a Dharma holdout. That's kind of what I mean about the disguise thing. Like, you have to have that context. Otherwise, it's like, well, what's the point?
Right. Actually, that is a question that still remains open for me. Like, how much did the others know about Kelvin? and
Yeah.
desert and all that. I mean, that's what caused the plane crash and stuff. And, did they, I mean, presumably like someone told some of them at some point, but like it's just kind of weird. It was weird to me that they neglected that station for so long, especially because they showed that the Pearl, has cameras on the Swan Station,
Yeah.
and they know about them. So it's sort of like, did they discover those later? Were they watching Kelvin and Desmond before and just letting them be? Like, what exactly happened there?
I
Like,
I
it's
can
not clear.
imagine that they just left them be. I think maybe they couldn't find how to get into the Swan
They just
Station.
didn't know how to get in. Yeah, okay.
And they left them there because they may or may not have ever seen them leave the station. So if they were like,
Right.
well, they're trapped in that station, although they should have known about the pallet drops, I think. So
Mm.
I don't know what they thought, but I can see them leaving them there because they're not really a threat to the others if they have to stay in the station the whole time. Now the question is the button, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Definitely.
where it's really like, well, why would you? We've talked about that many times. Like, why would you leave them there
Seems dangerous.
if
Yeah.
the button's important or not important?
Right.
But again, I think Ben probably thinks he knows everything important about the island.
Yeah. Well,
So
I think that's true.
if he doesn't think the button needs pressing or is worth pressing, then he's probably gonna not care about it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I guess there's a real question about how much the others knew or cared about that whole thing, following the incident.
Here's a question, which I
Because
don't
they
know.
were involved. Like, they supplied the bomb, and so, like, it seems like on some level they should know there's something crazy there, but did they just not know how Dharma solved it or whatever? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my God. Well, let's talk about that because that just blew my mind. I was gonna bring up something else that was slightly mind blowing, but um, Dharma. I mean the sorry, the others. The others helped with the incident.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were way in there. They helped like up until the last moment. I mean, they just didn't participate in the actual activities, but I mean, they gave him the bomb. They took Jack and Saeed to that like hole in the wall so they could get through to the barracks and then drive out to the site. And so I mean, they walked them up to the edge. They were definitely involved.
Okay, but then so all that really means is all of the others who helped needed to have died by the time Ben takes over.
Yeah, and Richard helped. So
Oh, Richard helped.
and
Crap.
Eloise Hawking helped. I mean, a lot. They're not all dead.
Well, that's the thing. Like, then there should have been a lot more emphasis on. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, they don't really know. I guess the question is, what happened when Jughead went off?
That's what's not clear. We don't really know anything about the aftermath of that, and I think that's kind of frustrating. The incident suddenly doesn't matter as soon as it's
I
over.
wonder if there's some weird timeline paradox where like there is no after the incident. like 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 from the perspective of the future, yeah, there's a past. But from the perspective of the past, like that the point at which Jughead goes off,
hmm
like skips to the future.
Right.
And there is no after that for people in that timeline. If you're in the other timeline before they go back in time,
hmm
then you do remember what happened after that, but it was
Yeah,
different.
I see.
I wonder if there's some weirdness with the time travel that makes them not really factor in what happened after Jughead. Because yeah, if Richard like was standing there when Jughead goes off, is it like he sees a flash of light and then it dies down and then Dharma just continues to build the Swan Station?
hmm
Like that seems like no, that a nuke just went off and they're just gonna like so it couldn't have gone off. Maybe it exploded in time. Like it didn't actually explode like at the site or something, or like or the explosion of that energy got channeled into the time travel
Hmm.
and not actually destroying the Swan site, which is what should have happened.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, we don't know anything, so it's really hard to tell. But I mean, the impression from the orientation video is that like the whole problem of the Swan Station was created because of the incident. You know. So like they have to build the button because of the incident. Like presumably the original
Well,
plans were different.
yeah, but I mean, it can't be that Jughead went off at the Swan site, right?
But okay, maybe not. But then the question is like,
But the
what?
radiation alone, they would all be, and then, unless that's why he has to take those inoculations, because
I
of the
think
radiation.
I almost want to say there are some theories along those lines.
Yeah.
That rings a bell. But yeah, it's just like what exactly what are they talking about when they talk about the incident? You know, I mean, was it just Radzinski hitting the pocket? Like, was that really
See,
the only problem?
that's kind of what I want to think. That's kind of going back to my timeline, my fractured timeline idea, is that from the perspective of that orientation, like from timeline one, which is the Losties have not time traveled. It's 1970 whatever. They're building the Swan Station, and there's no time travel. Like Rosinski just hits the pocket, they screw up, they realize, okay, this is the incident. He hit the
That's the
pocket,
incident.
and now we have to like redesign the Swan Station to keep this energy in check every 108 minutes, blah blah blah. And then we fast forward to the future, and we see, they see the orientation video. The orientation video from this timeline one is talking about the pocket getting hit, and then they go back in time, and now, yeah, the pocket gets hit, but then there's also Jughead now.
Hmm.
And I feel like maybe that's what's weird is I mean, I could disprove my own theory here, but like the idea that um the present time or future time. Oh, Jesus, English language isn't good enough for my ideas. It's insufficient to communicate what I'm saying. Can we do a mind meld?
All
So much easier.
right, come on, everyone, touch your iPod.
Everybody mind meld. Press your mind meld button. Uh, yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? So
It's
like
just
the
below the
idea.
menu.
Yeah, next to the back button. There's shuffle, back, and then mind meld. Um, so I don't know. Am I
What are
making
you
sense?
trying to say?
Do I have to start over, or will you just agree that I'm right?
Like, I think I maybe know what you mean, but I can't be sure.
You tell me what I mean, and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
I think you're trying to say that there's sort of two timelines. Like once they time traveled, all those things that happened, like I guess they led to some of the same outcomes, but things
Hmm.
happened in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like if you drew this out, basically there's we start with only timeline one. At the end of timeline one, you put a point there. At this point in the I'll call it the present. Season 5, 4 or 5, when they time travel, uh, they go back and start timeline two, which begins at the moment they arrive in the 70s. Like timeline two doesn't have a history. It starts the first moment in history for it is when they arrive in the 70s, and it only lasts until Jughead explodes.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what I meant
right.
about before, about like there is no after Jughead explodes in timeline two, because all the people who created that went back to timeline one.
Right.
Um,
Okay, I see. I see. So that timeline doesn't even continue. It just
yeah, it doesn't even
ends
continue.
when Juliet taps the bomb.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
So it's
there's
almost like
there's
a reconciliation of um, whatever happened with people are the variables.
yes. People are the variables.
Like, yeah, we can't change things until we change them too much, and then we zap back.
Hmm. Yeah, you can change things, just not in this timeline. You can't
Right.
change the past, but you can create a new past and
Mm-hmm.
change that all you want because it's the present.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird theory, but I feel like something like that has to be going on, which might explain why the incident is very nebulous because it's two things depending on your perspective,
Right.
and why there isn't, and why you can have the others in the past, aka timeline two, be aware of these events, but then the others in timeline one not really acting as if that happened.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Though, I mean, I think there are indications that at least Dharma said that I think they said this, maybe I'm wrong, that the hostiles were involved in the incident. The reveal seemed to be that, well, that's what they thought, because basically they ended up thinking that the time travelers were hostiles. And so, like in the Dharma history books, it was recorded as an attack by the hostiles.
Yeah.
But I think even in the original, maybe not the original orientation video, but when they add the part, they talk about the communication or something. And I think there's indications that the hostiles were in some way involved in or responsible for the incident.
Hmm.
And so, that makes me wonder what timeline one version of the incident is with the hostiles.
Well, here's the question: like, doesn't the hostiles had nothing to do with Brzezinski hitting the pocket, right?
Yeah, seemingly no. That was just him being an asshole.
So you mean
Drill baby drill.
Brzezinski being Brzezinski?
Exactly.
Uh,
He's the
so
worst.
so it should have been. I feel like the incident. I don't know. Let's stop talking about that. It should have
It's a
been
brain kill.
an incident regardless of the hostiles, even if they were involved. It seems like that should have been the first problem. Not that the hostiles did something, but Rosinski did something.
Right. Right.
And then the hostiles showed up and made it worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I totally agree. I don't know either.
All right.
But I think it's an interesting thought, and it's one of those questions that's really hard to resolve because I think they just didn't give us enough information.
Yeah.
And so like it's kind of like I mean it's even worse than this, but it's kind of like the thing we were talking about with the cabin last time, where it's just there's sort of what they were thinking at various times. There's like just the lack of detail in the plot. There's sort of like what the focus of the show is. There's all this stuff that makes it really hard to know about. I'll even throw in, the circumstances of Radzinski's death as being a little bit like a really mini version of this. Like,
Yeah.
he could have killed himself. Calvin could have killed him. I think either way would be completely consistent with what they showed.
Yeah.
And so there's just no way of deciding. You can kind of pick the one you think makes more sense, but there's just no way to be sure.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about this. It's just kind of like we can kind of come up with a theory that seems to work, but it's going to be really hard to get a definitive answer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to get back to the Jacob thing.
Okay.
Because I'm never ready to give Jacob a rest.
Oh, I was. Yeah, I actually had something to say about Jacob.
Okay.
Which was what? Something about Jacob and bringing people to the island. It was something about what he knew, if he would have known about. Um. Oh, Oh, the button.
Oh, the button. Yeah. Jacob and the button.
Jacob and the button.
The little known Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. I will not press it, Sam. I am. Jacob, I am. I will not. One fish, two fish, three fish, button fish. I don't know.
4 fish, 8 fish.
Oh yeah, 4 fish, 8 fish, 15 fish. Yeah. Worst Dr. Seuss book ever.
Mommy, I hate this one.
Mommy, this one makes no sense. The other ones are really straightforward compared to this one.
Get used to it, son.
Yikes, Mommy.
That's how life is.
Mommy's real.
You're gonna like it because I'm the mom.
Mommy ain't got time for it. Mommy's working 2 jobs. Read your damn book and go to sleep.
Yeah, that's all I want.
I love fed up parents. They're the best characters. Yeah, I guess I was just gonna raise the question about which I'm sure we talked about maybe, which is Jacob and the button, and if it mattered, why didn't he care?
Right. Yeah. If that was like a potentially world-ending situation, then it does seem like he should have been more involved.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll throw this in, if not pushing the button is sort of like what happens when they unplug the island, at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Or at least like related to that, then I would think maybe that's something Men in Black would want. And let me throw this in. What if the smoke monster loses his powers when they do that?
When they do what?
When they don't push the button.
Oh.
Maybe that's a little too crazy, but because that's what happens when they unplug the island.
I mean, it seems like they were the opposite phenomenon, right? Though, like not pressing the button was unleashing the energy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was sucking everything in.
Yeah.
Uncorking the cork hole, the light cave.
Mm-hmm.
Was that releasing the energy too?
I think so. Yeah. I think the idea is the cork keeps the energy in.
Okay.
Or the evil, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge stretch to wonder if to think that maybe he didn't have power at that point.
But on the other hand, that might have enabled him to escape. Like, maybe he wanted that to happen. And we know more or less for a fact that he was involved in sort of manipulating Echo and Locke in that little thing that led to the button not being pushed.
Yeah, but he convinced Echo to push it.
Well, yeah, he did. But he also convinced Locke not to, and that confrontation led to the not pushing.
Yeah.
Did he think ahead that far? I don't know.
I almost and here's part of the problem is he's probably the foremost expert on whatever the light is.
Right.
Like, between him and Jacob, I mean, I think he knows more about it. He built the
right.
donkey wheel thing.
Right.
So he's got this idea of how it's going to work. Because I would want to say he has no idea what the button would do. But I think he should have some idea.
Some idea, yeah.
Does Man in Black want the button pressed or not? I think he wants Jacob dead so he can leave the island. He wants everybody else dead so he can facilitate leaving the island. So I think if not pressing the button would kill everybody, I think he would want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to get Locke and Echo just to fight so they'd kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like 2 less people.
Right.
I don't know.
Candidates, that whole business.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is kind of impossible to tell, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. Since it seems almost like the swan and the button and all that is kind of a, a mini warm up for what the final
Hmm.
power of the island story is.
Yeah.
You know, like the person who's pushing the button is sort of like the Jacob. Like they have to protect it, and
Mm.
what I
So
mean?
the station is the island,
Yeah,
and then what's under the station is the light
the
cave.
cave. Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Yeah, like it feels like it's kind of a micro version of that story. You know.
Yeah.
Um, and the fights about it are sort of like,
Yeah, and then you have Locke being Man in Black, who
yeah,
doesn't want the button pressed, which is
yeah,
to say he wants the energy to escape. But no,
exactly.
wait, he doesn't want that. Man in Black doesn't want that.
Doesn't want what?
He doesn't want the energy to escape.
Well, I think I mean, he did end up wanting that, so that, so that the island would be destroyed and he could leave. I think
Uh,
that was his plan.
but he lost his power.
Yeah, I think he didn't know he was going to lose his power. I think he didn't expect that part.
Okay.
And
Okay, that makes sense if I guess.
that was my impression of that little moment is like he thought like the island would be destroyed, but he didn't realize that that would make him lose his powers.
Oh, because he was just gonna like hop on the boat and
Yeah,
leave while the island blows up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that plan was ever gonna work. The boat's not that fast.
That was definitely his plan, though. I mean, even without his powers, he was about to hop on that boat.
Yeah, gotta
If
get that boat.
if like Jack hadn't come back to challenge him to a duel,
Hmm.
he seemingly would have. But yeah, maybe he wouldn't have had enough time. I don't know. But yeah, it's sort of weird. But I wanted to say a different thing about Jacob,
Okay.
which is the Mikhail Jacob connection. The reason why I brought that up is because yeah, like it kind of makes more sense. I see Ben recruiting him, like that's totally plausible, and I'm totally willing to go with that story. But I'll just throw out like the old counterpoint. It's not really as strong as the other one, but anyway, there are the candidates, the ones he finds in the lighthouse. Those are the ones that he, he's bringing to potentially replace him. That's the
Yeah.
idea of the candidates. But there is this separate thing, which is him bringing people to the island uh, to prove Man in Black wrong, to
Hmm.
join the others, whatever it is exactly, like something along those lines. I mean, there is that idea there, you know. When he brought Richard the Black Rock there, it doesn't seem as though they were supposed to be candidates. It was part of this big debate, you
Yeah.
know. And so like some of the people he brings seem to be for that reason. And so like for example, like from late in the show, the Dogan story of him being in a car accident and then like his son is dying or whatever, and then Jacob shows up and he's like, okay, I'll cure him, but you have to come to the island and whatever, leave the temple or whatever he does. That shows someone being recruited into the others directly by Jacob.
Hmm.
And like I'm assuming that that wasn't necessarily the only time he did that,
Yeah.
you know? And so like that makes me think it's possible that he recruited Mikhail with, you know, something that would attract him.
But isn't Mikhail like a bad guy?
Seemingly, yeah, but maybe he still thinks he'll be good if he. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the others, a lot of them seem bad. Like I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, but I mean, of no one that we know was recruited by Jacob is outright bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fair point. Although it does seem like he recruited Widmore.
Yeah, well, Whitmore was good in the beginning.
Was he? Oh.
Well, I mean, he was at least an honorable leader of the others.
He started out good, and then he
Yeah.
was bad for a while, and then he came back to good
And
again.
then he came back. Yeah, why not? This says there's no third act in leading the others. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's possible, but I agree that the other story seems a little bit more correct.
Yeah, I guess it's possible.
I guess the reason why I bring that up is I'm thinking about something that happens in the next episode. So maybe we can reopen it then.
All right, let's reopen it then. Let's go to the next episode and figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Well, join us next time when we'll talk about the next episode.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Will you?
Will you? All right. Until next time. Thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.